Let's dive right into the world of video games. We're going to explore them not just as something fun to do, but as a huge cultural force, a really unique form of play, and yeah, even a powerful form of art. And our whole journey tonight kicks off with one surprisingly tough question.
What actually is a game? I mean, it seems so simple, right? But the minute you really try to nail down a definition, things start to get, well, they get really interesting. And this is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
So first up, you've got the classic Oxford definition. It's about play, it's about competition, there are rules, think about chess or soccer. And that's a great place to start for sure, but it feels a little bit limited, doesn't it?
Then Wikipedia comes along and kind of broadens the horizon. Now we're talking about structured play for entertainment or fun. And here's the part that really catches my eye, sometimes used as an educational tool. Suddenly, the purpose of a game is getting way more complex.
Okay, so Merriam-Webster zooms us in on video games specifically, and it introduces these key tech elements. It's electronic, and this is the big one, players control the images. That idea of control, that is a massive piece of this whole puzzle.
And finally, Encyclopedia Britannica just blows the doors wide open. It's about interactivity, it's about computer circuitry, and it covers the totality of these formats. This definition really gets at the absolutely massive scope of what video games have become.
But hang on. Before we get any deeper into game, we have to zoom out and look at the core human behavior behind it all, play. Real play, according to researchers, is something we choose for ourselves. It's imaginative, it's something we do just for the sake of doing it. It isn't just about having fun, it's a fundamental way we learn about the world.
And what happens when millions upon millions of people start playing in a shared space with shared rules? You get this. You get culture. A whole system of shared values and practices. And that is the key to understanding how a bunch of pixels on a screen built entire global communities.
All right, so with those definitions under our belt, let's get into the really cool stuff. How this whole thing exploded from a niche hobby into a genuine, world-shaping cultural phenomenon.
The timeline here, it tells this amazing story of evolution. The 70s gave us our first little taste of playing together online. The 80s literally brought the arcade into our living rooms and gave us these heroes we could all root for. And then the 90s came along and proved, hey, games aren't just for kids anymore.
And for so many of us, this is where it all began, the Atari 2600. Man, this wasn't just a toy, it was a portal. This little box with that unforgettable joystick was the machine that pulled gaming out of the public arcade and planted it right in the middle of the family home.
Then came the console wars. Oh yeah. And the Sega Genesis was right at the heart of the fight. Sega does what Nintendo don't. See, it wasn't just about playing games anymore. It was about picking a side. You had an identity built around the machine plugged into your TV.
And on the other side of that battle line, you had the Super Nintendo. With that 16-bit power, it took a huge leap forward in what was possible, visually and narratively. Suddenly, games could have these deeper stories, real emotional weight, and worlds that felt truly epic.
And then, bam, everything changed again. The Sony PlayStation shows up with CDs, with 3D graphics, and it completely rewrote the rules for what a game could look and feel like. We went from flat 2D screens into these immersive three-dimensional worlds you could actually run around in.
So all of this new hardware, it wasn't just building games, it was building a powerful subculture. And what's so incredible is how the word geek, which used to be an insult, got totally transformed. As gaming went mainstream, geek culture became geek chic. It became a celebrated identity, built around a passion for tech and for play.
And that cultural power is backed by some absolutely staggering economic power. In 2020, the global video game industry pulled in $180 billion. Now, to put that in perspective for you, that is more than the global film and music industries combined. This isn't some niche hobby anymore, it's a global economic titan.
So if games are this massive cultural force, this economic behemoth, it all leads to the biggest, most hotly debated question of all. Are they also art?
You know what? Let's start this argument with our eyes instead of words. Just look at this. This is from the game Journey. There's no dialogue, you just travel towards a mountain in the distance, and sometimes you silently meet other real players. It's this profound experience of connection and loss, and it's told completely through gameplay and visuals.
Or how about this? Monument Valley. The entire game is interactive art. It's directly inspired by the mind-bending, impossible geometry of M.C. Escher. You are literally playing inside a work of art.
I mean, this just illustrates the point perfectly. The game Blanc is basically a playable, hand-drawn illustration. Every single frame looks like it was lifted right out of an artist's sketchbook. The medium here is code and graphite all at once.
And finally, just take in the beautiful, lonely wilderness of Firewatch. The game's art style isn't just some pretty background, it's as much a character as anyone you talk to. It uses color and light to create these powerful feelings of isolation, mystery, and pure awe.
Okay, so keeping those images in your head, let's look at a formal definition. Art is the conscious use of skill and creative imagination to make aesthetic objects. After what we just saw, well, it's pretty hard to argue that video games don't fit that definition like a glove.
But here it is. This is the final, crucial point. Games have a tool in their toolbox that no other art form has. Like Naomi Alderman said, a novel can make you feel sad for a character, but only a game can make you feel guilty. A movie can make you angry, but only a game can make you feel personally betrayed. And that unique ingredient is agency. Your choice.
And this is what agency looks like. In the game Fallout 3, you're given a choice. For some money, you can detonate a nuclear bomb right in the middle of a town, erasing it from the map. And it's not a cutscene you watch. No, you are the one who pushes the button. The feeling that action creates in you, whether it's pride or just crushing guilt, that's something only this art form can truly deliver.
And that's what brings it all back to you, the player. The real power of this medium is in the choices it asks us to make. So I'll leave you with this final thought. What moral choice in a game has stayed with you long after you put the controller down?